Cole Danner had seen harsh nights before, but nothing compared to the sight waiting outside his barn that winter evening. The wind tore through the Wyoming plains like a blade, carrying snow in sharp, swirling sheets, and Cole had only stepped outside because one of the Mares wouldn't settle. He expected a broken latch or a hungry coyote lurking near the fence. He did not expect a woman collapsed against the barn door, half buried in snow, trembling and bruised as if the storm itself had beaten her. For a long, stunned moment, he simply stared. Her dress was torn at one sleeve, her knuckles scraped, her dark hair stiff with frost. When he knelt beside her, she flinched hard enough to topple sideways. "Easy," he murmured, sliding his coat around her shoulders. "I'm not here to hurt you." Her lips parted around a whisper he could barely hear. "Please, don't send me back." Then her hand slipped from her grasp and a piece of paper fell into the snow. Cole scooped it up, shielding it from the wind with his palm. The ink had run in places, the handwriting rushed. If she shows up, she belongs to whoever helps her. Don't let him find her. That was all. No name, no explanation. But it was enough to ignite something burning and unfamiliar in Cole's chest. He lifted her into his arms as gently as he could. She was featherlight, freezing cold, and barely conscious. "You're safe now," he told her, unsure if she heard him over the storm. "You're not alone anymore?" Inside the warm glow of his cabin, Cole laid her near the fireplace and stoked the flames until heat filled the room. The woman curled into herself like a frightened animal. Her eyes darted at every sound, and when Cole brought warm water to clean the bruise on her cheek, she pulled away as if expecting a blow. "What's your name?" he asked so softly. "Elara," she whispered. Her voice had an accent soft, lilting, foreign. I was supposed to be someone's bride. That made something click in Cole's mind. Mail order brides were common enough out here, women desperate for a fresh start, men desperate for companionship or labor or both. But there was nothing normal about the bruise on her face or the terror shaking her bones. Cole cleaned her lip with slow, steady movements, careful not to startle her. Her entire body trembled when the cloth brushed her cheek. "You're safe," he said again. "Nobody's going to hurt you here." Elara watched him with wide, weary eyes like she wasn't sure whether to believe him. Exhaustion finally dragged her under, and she fell asleep wrapped in his coat. Cole sat in his rocking chair through the night, the note clutched in his hand. He read it over and over until the fire burned low. Whoever she'd escaped from wasn't just cruel, he was dangerous. And he would come looking. The next morning, sunlight broke across the snowy fields like gold melting over glass. Elara woke with a start, as if expecting to find shackles on her wrists. Instead, she found a blanket, warm broth, and Cole, quietly repairing a wooden stirrup at the table. "You should rest," he told her. "You've been through hell?" She didn't argue. Over the next few days, Elara regained color in her cheeks, though fear still lingered in her eyes. She helped where she could, feeding chickens, sweeping the hearth, hanging laundry, but each time hoofbeats echoed on the distant road, she froze. Cole pretended not to notice, but he noticed everything. The way she kept glancing behind her, the way she avoided doors, the way she slept in short bursts like someone expecting to be shaken awake. One evening, as a bitter wind rattled the windows, she stood at the kitchen counter peeling potatoes. Cole saw her hands trembling. "Elara," he said gently, "who did this to you?" Her jaw tightened. "The man who bought me," she whispered. He said I owed him obedience. When I refused, he punished me. She touched the fading bruise on her cheek. I tried to escape. I thought I could hide until the next train. But he sent men after me. Her voice cracked. They almost caught me. Cole set his knife down. The anger that surged through him was sharp enough to taste. "He won't touch you again." She looked at him, eyes full of disbelief. "Why would you help me?" Because you deserve better than what you ran from, he said simply. And because no one has the right to own you. That night, Elara fell asleep in a chair near the fire. Cole draped a blanket over her shoulders, and when she stirred, she whispered, "You're not alone now," echoing the words he'd spoken the night he found her. He froze at the sound of it. Something unspoken passed between them, something fragile, warm, unexpected. Days rolled into weeks. Winter loosened its grip. Elara learned the rhythm of ranch life faster than Cole expected. She helped mend fencing, brushed the horses, even dared to sit on the porch with him in the evenings. The first time he heard her laugh, a real laugh, surprised and breathless, he nearly dropped the bucket he was carrying. But danger still lingered like a shadow stretching behind her. In late February, Cole was chopping wood when he heard the unmistakable rumble of approaching horses. 3 riders, hard-looking men, faces hidden behind frost and brimmed hats. Elara appeared in the doorway, pale as fresh snow. "It's them," she whispered. Cole grabbed his rifle. "Stay inside." He stepped into the yard as the riders slowed their horses. The man in front was burly, mean-eyed, with a scar running down the side of his jaw. "Morning," he said. His voice was oily with arrogance. "We're looking for a runaway girl, slipped off a property east of here." Cole didn't blink. "Don't know anything about that." The man smirked. "We got reason to believe she came this way." Cole drew himself up straight. He wasn't the tallest man in Wyoming, but right now he felt like a mountain. "Your reason is wrong." The man's eyes narrowed. "We'll search your place." Cole stepped forward until the rifle barrel gleamed under the pale winter sun. "No," he said. "You won't." A tense silence thickened the air. One of the men shifted in his saddle, uneasy. The leader spat into the snow. "You're making a mistake." "Get off my land," Cole said. The men turned, muttering curses, and rode off without looking back. Cole waited until the sound of distant hoofbeats faded completely before lowering the rifle. The door creaked open. Elara stepped up, shaking. You stood up to them." "Of course I did," Cole said. "They had no right to you." Tears pooled in her eyes, but she blinked them away. Slowly, she reached for the porch railing to steady herself. "Nobody has ever fought for me before." Cole frowned softly. "Then they were fools." Alara's life began to change after that day. Her shoulders straightened. Her voice grew steadier. She walked the ranch with less fear, slept longer, ate more. The bruises faded entirely, replaced by a soft glow in her cheeks. Cole was surprised by how much he noticed the small things, the way sunlight caught the dark strands of her hair, the way she hummed while kneading dough, the way she lingered on the porch, like she finally felt she belonged somewhere. One warm afternoon, while repairing the northern fence, she approached him with a question. "Cole, do you think people like me can ever start over?" He straightened, wiping sweat from his forehead. "Elara, people who've been hurt are exactly the ones who deserve a fresh start." She studied him for a long time. "I want to trust that. I want to believe I can build a life again." "You can," he said. "And you don't have to do it alone." Her cheeks reddened. She looked away quickly, but not before he noticed the faint smile tugging at her lips. Spring arrived slowly, dripping into the land with thawed rivers and soft green shoots. Elara helped plant the small vegetable garden behind the cabin. She mended old bridles and brushed the horses until their coats gleamed. She even learned to ride, though she kept her hands tight on the reins and always looked behind her before mounting. Bit by bit, she was learning to breathe again. One morning, while Cole was stacking hay bales, Elara approached him with a steadiness he had never seen in her before. Her hair was braided neatly, her dress mended, her eyes glowing with determination. "Cole," she said quietly, "I don't want to be a guest here anymore." He froze, unsure what she meant. Elara, you can stay as long as you want. You're not a burden. She stepped closer. I want to belong here, truly, if you'll let me. Cole's throat tightened painfully. He set the hay aside. Elara, you already belong here. Her breath caught. Then may I stay with you? Not as a runaway. Not as someone you saved. But as someone you want to keep close. Cole stared at her, stunned by the gentleness of her request. He lifted his hand to her cheek, the same cheek once bruised and swollen, and brushed his thumb across the smooth skin. I want that, he whispered. More than you know. A tear slipped down her cheek. Not from fear this time, but relief. She leaned into his palm, closing her eyes. Cole wrapped his arms around her slowly, giving her time to pull away. She didn't. She rested her head against his chest, and he felt her breath soften, deep and steady. You're not alone now, he said again. And this time, the words carried the promise of a future neither of them had dared to imagine. And Elara, the woman who once arrived frozen, bruised, and hunted, smiled with a warmth that reached her soul. For the first time since she'd collapsed in the snow outside his barn, she knew she had finally found home.